It's Jordan back in today's video. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at why I don't think, we're going to pump straight from where we're at and why we're going to get a little bit of a pullback, which is going to be perfectly healthy. That sounds good to you guys. Make sure you smack that like button down below. Let's try to hit 100 likes on today's video. I don't think you guys can do it. Let's jump on in to the video. As we jump right on in to the daily chart of Bitcoin, as you guys can see, we did get a breakout out of this smaller triangle here. But what scares me a little bit and is what is a little bit worrisome that I haven't really seen too many people talk about. A lot of people are saying we're going to come back down to fill the CME gap that's down at 11,100. We're going to take a look at later in this video. Also, I'm seeing a lot of people thinking we're just going to go straight blast off and retest 12,000 again. I don't think that that's the case at all, right? We're getting resistance right at this little local high resistance line, right? We got one touch here at the top here, and we got another touch here, and now we're getting a resistance right on the top of this triangle right here, guys. And this is slightly worrisome because we could come back down and retest the bottom of this triangle again. If we came straight back down from where we are now, that would be at about 10,600. And I don't think that's out of the case, but I don't not think that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to show you exactly where I think that we could get a slight short-term pullback. That's not going to be crazy, guys. You guys aren't going to see some $1,000 pullback, but I think a couple $100 pullback is definitely in the cards, and I'm going to show you exactly why now. We could get a rejection down here, and in this next chart, we do have that $11,100 CME gap because the CME futures are obviously closed on the weekends, and this last candle back on Friday closed at about that $11,100 mark, right? And that perfectly coincides with the last local top that we had right here, right? Look at how perfectly that coincides. And if you draw a straight line across, it's exactly where the CME gap is. So what I think we're going to do in the short-term time frame, now this could happen right on Monday morning, get a quick dump back down, retest this old local high, and fill the CME gap here, come back straight back down, get a bounce off of this, and then continue up out of the triangle. Now, that's what I think is going to happen. I think this could happen at some point next week. It could take a couple days as we consolidate on the top of this triangle, and then come back down and retest and fill the CME gap, and then get a nice bounce back up. But that's what I see happening in the short-term time frame because it just perfectly coincides that this old local top is exactly where the CME gap is. And I don't think that's by accident. I think that's something that the market movers were trying to paint to kind of seem like, it's an obvious thing. And what also scares me, guys, and when something's very obvious, it tends not to happen in Bitcoin. So we could just absolutely just pump straight up from here. I don't think it's not out of the possibility because it's Bitcoin can do whatever it wants, right? It's whatever these big market movers decide to do. And it could just pump straight from back here or come back down and fill that CME gap. I think the chances are, as much as I want to be that conspiracy theorist and think that these market movers are like trying to make us think it's going to come back down and they're just going to pop back off, waiting for us to buy at lower prices and it takes off on us, I think we're just going to, come back down and actually refill that CME gap. I love to be one of those people that's like a contrarian, think that we're just going to pump right back up. And I think it's a conspiracy that we're going to fill that CME gap. That's not what I'm thinking. I think we actually are going to come back and fill that. So just be prepared that I think right here is a good buy if you guys already aren't in a trade. About that $11,100 mark, I see us getting a nice sizable bounce to at least come back and touch this top of the triangle here at about 11,300. We'll see if we can break out of this bigger triangle, but I don't think a lot of people are talking that we could just be in this bigger triangle now that we broke out of that smaller triangle. But we're going to jump on into the third chart, number 3, that I want to talk about today for Bitcoin, and that is just the 50 and the 200 EMA. So these are kind of the worst case scenarios and the best case scenarios possible for Bitcoin. So the 50 EMA right now is at about that $10,800 mark. So if we end up breaking this local high here, I think this could be a nice bounce point, right? Because this thing is going to keep going up. As we're pumping up, this thing is probably going to get to that $11,900 mark by the next couple of days. So maybe we get it bounced off that and then we continue up higher. worst case scenario, if we do break that local high here, absolute worst case scenario, doomsday scenario, which in my mind isn't even a doomsday scenario anymore. This is actually perfect buying opportunity, is this 200 EMA down here. It's this light line that I don't know why it's that color, because you guys can barely probably see it, but it's right here if you guys can't see it. It's coming up right here. This thing is the absolute last doomsday scenario that I see for Bitcoin, and that's at about almost at 10,000 even right now. So that's the lowest I see it possibly going. It actually coincides perfectly with this bottom support now, and this thing's going to keep rising even faster because we just got that big pump. So this moving average, which is the average of each day's closing candle, is going to move up faster because obviously the prices we're at now are higher than they were a couple weeks ago. So watch this thing to move up pretty fast, and this is the last line of support that I see. I don't see us ever breaking that. If we do come back down, we're going to get a bounce off this. So 10,000 is the lowest I see us possibly going in at least like the short to medium term. Long term, we could go down farther if we see another one of those crazy crashes in March, right? But that's kind of the worst case scenario that I see. So that's the third chart I want to talk about today. And now we're going to take a look at Numo number 4 chart today. And that is just this is the Williams Alligator. We take a look at this a long time ago, like months ago for Bitcoin, but I wanted to pull it up again on the weekly chart because I saw something very interesting when I was kind of doing some research on Bitcoin yesterday. And it's whenever we get a bullish cross on the Williams Alligator. So whenever kind of these moving averages here, these are all moving averages, whenever it goes green, red, blue, and it flips onto that, and it kind of curls up into that order, we get a massive bull run. So it happened once down here when it first started out, obviously, and we got a massive bull run. You guys can see here. It happened again right here where we got this nice little curl up, as you guys can see, when these twisted back to the order we want, and it never untwisted again until we get to our new all-time high again. So 2 for 2, right? It happened again right here. It twisted back up bullishly, and we got another nice pump from when it curled at about 4,000 all the way up to about 14,000. 3 for 3, great. And then we got another one. We got a fake out one right here. But when we get a more momentum, so this one's kind of confirmed because we've been in it for a pretty long time now, about almost like 3-4 months now. So this one's more confirmed to me, and we got a fourth one here, and we've already went from about 7,000 all the way up to about 12,000. So this is going to continue higher, and I just think it was kind of coincidence. That's the 4 times that we get this kind of bullish flip on this Williams Alligator kind of indicator here. We get massive pumps, bearing that it's kind of a sustained pattern, and we see it for a few months after getting this. So after getting that kind of bullish flip. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about in today's video, guys. If you guys enjoyed today's video on Bitcoin, make sure you smack that like button. Like I said, I do not think you guys can hit 100 likes on this video. I'm calling you guys out again. I've been calling you guys out lately. I don't think you guys can do it. Also, if you watch my videos all the time, make sure you press that subscribe button and click that notification bell right down below. Makes my day, makes your day, because I can bring you guys more videos and more content every single day, except Mondays, because I take that day off to get stuff done. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Don't stare at the charts all day. It's not going to change the price. I promise you, it won't. Peace.